Okay, let's do this. I'm Liz, alcoholic, drug addict, codependent, living with mental illness, ADHD, anxiety, bipolar disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. This is me in my recovery. I know I said in an earlier video that I've been listening to a lot of music lately, and I have. And I'm going to do some more singing. This was brought on by watching / listening to Gilmore Girls, the episode in season 7 where Lorelai is singing I Will Always Love You to Rory, but then Luke comes in and she ends up singing it to him. And so I was going to sing that, but I'm not Dolly and I am not Whitney. So I was trying to think of something that made me feel the same as those songs do. Well, one song, but sung by two people. And I landed on this song by this band Zox. And it's really fitting because of my history with that band and how it fits into my codependency issues. So when I was 15, I met this guy at my friend's 16th birthday party. And I didn't go to school with him, but he had gone to middle school with her. And I saw him and he was, cute, and he had like this dark, curly, shaggy hair, and that was my thing in high school. And I immediately felt like, oh my god, this guy's so cute, like he's never going to be into me. But I was still trying to get his attention in this way that I thought that I could, which was kind of inept. I mean, I hadn't dated before. I still hadn't gotten my first kiss. I was really picky about who I was interested in and, who I wanted to pursue. And silly me looking back, but what did I know then? I thought that he was a good choice and that he would be interested in me because we went downstairs to hang out, and he was sitting in the middle of a couch, and I laid down like across people so that my feet were on the person at the far end, and then my part of my legs and part of my lap were on his lap. And with his left hand, the one closest to me, he was reaching kind of underneath and stroking my crotch through my jeans, and I was like, ooh, yay, this is a sign he's interested in me after all. 15. But he was, actually. He left that night because guys couldn't spend the night, but the girls could, and we all talked about it, and I told the girls there, and they were like, oh my god. But in the morning, he IM'd my friend whose party it was and was like, oh, what's her last name? She's like, why? He's like, oh, so I can look her up in the phone book. Now we know how far back this was. She was like, you know that I'm her friend, I can give you her number. So she did, and by the time I got home, he had already called twice, and my mom was like, ooh, this guy called for you. And I was so overjoyed. And we talked, and he invited me to my own semi-formal, which was on Valentine's Day, and we went together, and we danced, and everyone was saying how cute we were, because I had curled my hair, and it matched his hair, and it was just almost saccharine in how cute it was. And at the end of the night, we kissed, and that was my first kiss, and I just felt so elated. And then in school, everyone was saying what a cute couple we made and how adorable it was, and I was just high on that feeling. And then 2 weeks later, he called me, and it was almost like that episode of Sex and the City where Berger breaks up with Carrie on a Post-it. Like the "I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me." Pretty much a direct quote. And I was devastated. I didn't get over it until the end of high school, and I'm serious. And it's because he kept popping up in my life. Like, the summer after that, I saw him at my friend's pool, and again, chemistry, and again, like, a little bit of, like, touching and stuff like that. And he invited me over to his house when his parents weren't home, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be great. But he had a friend over, and then he disappeared. And then a couple of months after that, we started talking again. And again, nothing. And every single time it felt like I had done something wrong. But the kicker came New Year's Eve of my senior year. So this had gone on for 2 years. Back and forth. And I didn't date anybody else in that time. Except for one guy, but I'll get there. And he came to this thing I was throwing at my dad's house, and he had to leave because it was snowing. His parents didn't want him to stay over at a girl's place. But he kissed me and he said, "Don't let me be stupid this time." And I was so thrilled. I thought that things were going to be better. But after months of talking and one time getting together and one plan to go to my dad's duplex where, like, one side wasn't being rented out and where we would do everything but, because he was more experienced than me, and that didn't work out again because of snow. One night I was talking to him and it just seemed different. And I asked him, like, "What do you think of me as?" And he said, "A friend." And I sobbed. I sobbed that night. I sobbed the next morning. I told my friends the next day, and I kept it together until one girl gave me a hug, and then I just fell apart, and I had to go to my guidance counselor, and he said that he would talk to my teachers, and he sent me home. And that night, well, the rest of the day, I laid in my dad's lazy boy, stared at the wall for hours. And that night, I made a plan to meet up with some guy that I knew from only MySpace. Thankfully, I was smart enough to bring a friend with me. But, like, that experience really taught me that, or impressed upon me, that no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, no matter what somebody said to me, I wasn't worth it. But he did introduce me to this band Zox. And that band became really important to me and my friends my senior year. I had a car, and not everybody did, and we would pile into the car, and we would go to these concerts. First one was in Massachusetts, and I was crushing on a friend of mine, and I was trying to flirt. Again, didn't really have much skill in that area, but I was trying, and that kind of, I don't really remember much about the concert, but I remember coming home from it, going back to the school parking lot to drop everybody off, and there being this moment at the end where I felt like we are going to kiss. We could kiss now, but something about it, something like everyone being around, just was too much, and we didn't. And then the second concert was up in like middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, and again, a bunch of us went. That was the only concert where we needed 2 cars. And I met the guy who had become my second abusive ex-boyfriend there. Again, another guy with curly, long, dark hair. I saw him dancing and thought, wow, that guy's so cute. And apparently he noticed me too, but I didn't know this until later. And there was this completely inappropriate mosh pit because the music doesn't go with that. You'll see. But I dove in, and someone knocked me down, stepped on me even. I remember there being a shoe print on my white tank top. And he picked me up and brought me over to a chair. We sat down and we started talking. And we talked the whole time, and we exchanged numbers, and then at the end of the night we made out in the rain outside while everyone in my car and the other car were hooting and hollering and making a scene. And that ended because I lied to get out of work to go see him, and my mom caught me in that lie and grounded me forever. So I didn't want to do another phone relationship thing, and I broke it off. And then the third concert was me and my good girlfriends, and we went, and it was a small venue, and we just danced and we sang along, and it was amazing. It felt so freeing and just bonding. And we talked to the band afterward, and I was flirting with the bassist, another guy with curly, dark, shaggy hair. I had a type. And they invited us to this concert in Providence, which is where they're from. And the whole ride home, we're like, how are we going to get to Providence? Whose house are we going to say that we're at? Like, where are we going to stay? Blah, blah, blah. Of course, we never went. But it was this thing with us, and we needed it. Like, senior year, I got kicked out of my house twice. And by kicked out, I mean, me and my mom would have a fight. She would tell me to call my dad, and he would come and get me. I'd be in tears. I'd have a hastily packed bag, and all the way to his house, like a 40-minute drive, he would be trying to be the cool parent at the same time as he was bad-mouthing my mom, and it was awful. The first time lasted for about a weekend or so. The second time, though, lasted for months, and those months were when I was talking to the guy who introduced me to this band, and these concerts felt like something that we did together that made us feel strong and more in control and less like teenagers. We were all so in a hurry to grow up, and I didn't feel like I had either one of my parents consistently, especially after my dad hit me. I didn't feel like I was worth it to any guy that I liked, or who even liked me back. And all that was there was like us and this music. And I used to listen to this song as like this almost pitiful thing of like, I'm not worth it, give me a little more time, I'll be better. Now looking back on it, it seems like a song that's like, I know I have work to do. Give me time. I'll get to where I need to be, and everything will be okay. So I'm going to attempt to sing this. And forgive me for not being amazing at it. Okay. Give me just a little more time. Maybe we will find the words that will change our minds. Oh, give me just a little more time. Give me just a little more time. I don't want to leave the weight in this place behind. Oh, give me just a little more time. Ghost white in the moonlight, and the car breathes smoke in the middle of the night. All tangled up in the telephone lines and dry eyes. When you hold me close, pretend like you don't want to let me go, and take the long way home, soft as the radio. Give me just a little more time. Maybe we will find the words that will change our minds. Oh, give me just a little more time. Give me just a little more time. I don't want to leave the weight in this place behind. Oh, give me just a little more time. My God, how scarred we are to feel so little in somebody's arms. Smokestacks burning up the boulevard, and we break apart. It's the easy part. Kiss me once, good night. Your skin is glass in the dashboard lights, and we make up our minds to for the last time. Instrumental break. You can see why a mosh pit is completely inappropriate here. I have never been, oop, came in early. Hold that thought. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. But if you give me more time, if you give me more time, 'cause I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. I have never been somebody to hold on to. But if you give me more time. And first of all, I apologize for all of those mistakes and probably how off key it was. But like to think of that as a good song for recovery. I have never been somebody to hold on to, and that's my codependency talking, but, you know, if I give myself more time and recognize how scarred I am to feel so little in somebody's arms, and maybe one day I'll be back in that place where somebody can hold me close and it'll be healthy. And the words that will change our minds will be healthy too. So that's what I got for today.